Hello, Qembek here. Today I want to show you my build, my Demonologist build, and I believe it's one of the best builds, if not the best build in 3.0 that allows you to AoE farm if you are a magic damage dealer, self-heal, self-mana regeneration, and almost no usage of recovery food or potions. I still managed to AoE farm here efficiently, and probably I will get out with a good amounts of gold. This place, Dahuta's Garden, you can see the name here. Dahuta's Garden is not a random spot, it's my place for farming designs for ship components. And yeah, I'm using Demonologist. Before I show you my character in action, I want to describe the skill order and skills I'm using in my build. So let's start with overview here. So in sorcery I took insulating lens to get physical defense for a brief moment. It's not so good, but sometimes if things go wrong, you might want to have it. Freezing earth combined with searing rain gives you a really good combo, but in my case it's like secondary damage dealing combination, because I don't want to use it right away. I use it when something goes wrong again. Magic circle is the first skill I used to increase my damage after I finish mobbing my monsters. Chain lightning, and in passives I've got mana pool increase. Mana stars I'm using to gather up those monsters around me. I'm using Hell Spear and Summon Crows combination to deal damage. Crippling Mire, same as above. Summon Raid is one of the most important skills, but I will tell you about it later. Cursed Thorns is an abyssal skill. Basically you don't need any abyssal skills here because you will have no time to use it probably. And then I give everything in passives in occultism, because this one increases my mana regen, which is called enhanced mana recovery. Then we've got reprisal, increases melee, ranged and magic critical rates for 20% for 9 seconds after receiving critical damage. So sometimes it happens pretty often once you gather more than one monster and they start dealing damage to you. Caster's enrichment, it decreases health regen while not in combat and increases mana regen while not casting. Besides that, it increases attack speed plus 53, which has a point in terms of casting mana stars, and grants the Burning Brand buff for each enemy hit by Hellspear, Summon Crows or Stillness. Burning Brand gives you increased occultism skill damage, decreased channeling time for absorbed life force. We don't need this in our combination here in our build. Lasts for 6 seconds, stacks up to 15 times, and triggers Death Mark Aura at 15 stacks. Death Mark Aura grants all accumulated bonuses of 15 stacks of Burning Brand, reduces nearby enemies damage by 15%, lasts 12 seconds and prevents gaining stacks of Burning Brand for duration. All those bonuses here that I'm receiving from Burning Brand, they are useful in my build. Then we've got Macabre Reach, which increases melee, ranged and magic critical damage plus 10%. Next skill, increases all skill damage plus 15 for up to 6 seconds after receiving damage. Movement cancels the effect. We've got Intensified Harm, which works the same way that our Reprisal works, but increases our critical damage plus 25%. Meanwhile, this one increases our critical rates plus 20%, but they stack together perfectly because they are triggered by the same action, which is us being hit with critical attack, and the more monsters are hitting us, there's more chance that we will get hit by a crit. Then we've got Death's Beaconing, minus 20% occultism skills cooldown, and it buffs up our Crippling Mire, which is a single target spell, to, let's say, AoE spell for maximum 3 targets. So this one can target 3 targets instead of 1 if we have this passive skill activated. Next we've got Witchcraft skill tree, which has Enervate and Earthen Grip, and I set this in this order because Enervate and then Earthen Grip, they give us damage plus health combo plus mana burn on our enemy. Next, Banshee's Wail, very important skill here that I will describe more when I will be telling you about order of casting, but right now you need to know that this is AoE here. Focal Concussion is single target stun plus a bit of damage. Dahuta's Breath is AoE spell that damages and pushes away targets in front of you, so you need to aim with this spell. Fiend's Knell, which summons a minion to fight for us for a brief moment for 30 seconds. Passives now: increased health regen, nothing big, I'm just giving it because there's nothing else I want to give here. Then I've got Mitigation, decreases received melee damage minus 30% for 3 seconds after receiving a melee critical hit. This is really important. Baleful Recharge. Your successful attacks have a 2% chance to trigger Baleful Recharge buff, restoring a percentage of your maximum mana with every attack for the following 5 seconds. So basically what happens is that you trigger this and your skills, they deal not only damage but they start giving you back a bit of mana in return, and this ability has 12 seconds cooldown once triggered. In addition, each enemy you will fear using Banshee's Wail, which we have, or Insidious Whisper, which we don't have because this is not single target spell, it's not single target build, grants you a stack of Exploitation. And what Exploitation does? Decreases the cooldown of Focal Concussion and Enervate minus 10% per stack, which is something useful, but I'm not so into it. So it stacks up to 5 times, which is important because in this build, in this scenario, I'm going to kill monsters that are in groups, 4 of them, 4 monsters in one group, AoE damage with this spell with Baleful Recharge. Casting spell consumes 1 stack. We are talking about casting Focal Concussion or Enervate, or both. While under the effects of Exploitation, both spells will deal 90% of their damage as mana burn instead of normal damage, restoring an equal amount of mana to you. So basically what happens is that we are dealing a lot of damage, we are aiming at this 2% to happen, we are aiming with our spells, and once it does, we are AoE fearing our monsters, which gives us a chance to trigger another level of this passive, which is called Exploitation. Once we gather those stacks, we are ready to cast Focal Concussion or Enervate or both to recover our mana, and I will show you how this works. Before we begin, I will show you order of my spells. Mana Stars to gather up monsters around me, then I try to cast Mana Circle, Magic Circle to stand still and get increased damage from it. Next thing is Crippling Mire. This skill most often ends up interrupted by monster's action. We are securing our Crippling Mire with Impale from Hellspear, and to get better damage from Hellspear we are following it with Chain, which gets 30% increased damage on impaled targets, and quickly we try to summon crows. If our targets are still impaled, then we inflict poison on them. Next we are casting Banshee's Wail, which will AoE fear our monsters which are still probably being hit by crows, and we are hoping that what will happen is we are hoping that somewhere there Baleful Recharge occurs and we are aiming at Exploitation. Our targets are being feared, and to make it even stronger I'm going to use Summon Wraith on those. And interesting thing about this skill is AoE damage dealing spell that's not interrupting fear, so it's not cancelling effect of fear that we have from Banshee's Wail, it's only adding another stacks of damage, and it's only increasing our chance to trigger Baleful Recharge. And that's pretty much it. This combination should finish our monster, but if it doesn't, if something goes wrong, I still have Dahuta's Breath, I still have Freezing Earth, and I still have Searing Rain. Okay, so let's see how this goes. I will go with this combination without Dahuta's Breath, and I'm hoping that I will get a stacks of Exploitation. Watch carefully my mana level, okay? Let's go. Okay, so they are slowly approaching. I don't know why Pet is not in the combat yet, but okay, never mind, we don't need him. Okay, so I got interrupted by Trip, and I continue casting my spells, AoE Fear and Banshee's Wail, and we are hoping that there it is, Exploitation occurs. So we have 4 stacks of Exploitations, exploitation, 4 stacks of exploitation, and 2 monsters are alive. So focal concussion followed by earthen grip, and we've got some health back. Well, maybe maybe it wasn't perfect for my health, but as you can see, exploitation allowed me to recover most of my mana. So yeah, let's try it again. Watch carefully what happens with my mana. I'm not buffed yet, usually I am, which helps a lot because I'm not losing so much health. So I like to start my fight with Enervate and Earthen Grip because it deals significant amount of damage, so even when my pet breaks the Earthen Grip combo, monsters are still focused around me. So next I'm casting Magic Circle, casting Crippling Mire, using stun with Hell Spear, following with Hellcrows, AoE Fear, Summon Raid. And now I'm watching what's happening with Baleful Recharge here. We've got 2 exploitation skills, 2 exploitation stacks, but our monsters are dead, so we need to use this exploitation stacks on next group of monsters, but we have around 30 seconds to do so. So look what happens here. Let me just click it because it's faster and better for me. 10 meters range, focal concussion gives me first portion of mana, and then I use enervate for second portion of mana and follow with hands to get health back. Perfect solution, perfect combination, and I get my mana, I get my health, and I don't need to use those resources. Of course, sometimes something goes wrong and my skills, well, they are interrupted, like in this case. I get hit a lot and I need to heal a lot, and in those cases then I'm just using a health recovery potion or food to recover this. But look, pretty much every combat here, every fight with those monsters, I can walk out. I'm using Lost Garden Scepter so I can heal myself from the weapon, and I don't need to use any money to heal myself. And you know, healing is not as big problem as recovering mana. And in case you wonder if you can repeat my steps here, if your gear is sufficient, if you have enough power, let me show you what I'm using. I'm using not so good gear yet. I have 4.2k gear score. I'm using Celestial Delphinate Wave Scepter. To increase my damage, I took Kindled Passion Hood, which gives me plus 22 magic attack, and I'm using Flaming Passion Shield, plus 28 magic attack, 29 almost. So those are items that in total give me 660 magic attack. With Magic Circle this can go up to 800. If you buff up, maybe you can go up to like 900 magic damage in my case. But I don't need to buff up to efficiently clear this room, clear this zone, and I don't think you need to buff up as well if you have a similar gear. So that's the first thing. And if you are wondering why I'm even here, why I'm killing underwater monsters, is because I can get this. I can get Ionan Shipwright, Esnan Shipwright design bugs, I can get Xehanort Shipwright design bugs, and those can give me seabreeze designs which can be worth hundreds if not thousands of gold. Beside that, I'm getting Brineboned Rock, Swirling Whirlpool, which is probably vendor crap. We've got a lot of Princess Crate because this zone is in war, so I assume that our loot chance is increased. I'm getting level 45 accessories which can be used in processing Starlight Archeum. And there was something else, yeah, there it is. There's time space scroll scrap. You need 100 of those to combine a scroll that allows you to summon some OP boss that I never killed, so I do not know if it's worth, but sometimes I know that people are willing to pay really good money for those, so you can deliver this on the auction house and eventually it should sell. So yeah, that's it, that's what you get here, and of course coin purses and some trash items that I'm not sure if I want to identify or not. If you are interested in details behind those bugs, I will put into the description of my video a link to opening 100 of those, and I also can link you a link to video about this location and how to get here. So yeah, that's it from me. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please hit the like button, comment or subscribe. Thank you very much and see you later.